to rezone 2 parcels of land, each with a property address of 510 South Jefferson, from C2 General Commercial to I1 Light Industrial. Currently, the properties are split zone, having 2 zoning classifications. The northern portion is zoned I1 Light Industrial, and the southern portion is zoned C2 General Commercial. Notices were sent to 13 surrounding property owners within 185 feet of the requested rezoning. City staff received 1 written opposition to the rezoning from a Mr. J. M. Smith, president of Mexico Manor, Inc., which stated that the rezoning would potentially expose their real estate located at 219 East Bolivar to devaluation. The Mexico Manor property is currently being considered for redevelopment into a residential assisted living facility. I might add, if you can tell from that, the 2 properties face Jefferson Street. Basically, it's located to the east of Arnold's Funeral Home, to the south of the building that used to be Chigger Hill. One other resident actually also attended the meeting, and that person was, they were located at 509 South Calhoun, and they were interested in clarification and just getting additional information about the rezoning request. They came with no opposition. Mr. Cliff Smith, General Manager of Mid-America Biofuels, has indicated that this rezoning would allow for some items that would greatly facilitate continued investment in their facility. At the March 4th, 2004 Planning and Zoning meeting, the Commission made a motion to make recommendation to the City Council to grant the requested rezoning. We do have Ann Hagan here today representing the Mid-America Biofuel for any additional questions or information that you might have. Staff recommends that council proceed with the advertised public hearing.
That is where the parking lot is right now, across the street from.
Actually, it's the vacant, you know, where Sugar Hill used to be, the biofuel, and it's to the south of that. It's a vacant building, and it's 2 parcels that actually are split zone.
It's 35 feet wide.
Okay.
Where, can you point on that map where Mexico Manor is located in relation to these 2 properties?
Actually located on Bolivar Street.
Down there. So it's a block and a half away, or is that a block and a quarter?
It's on Calhoun Street. Mexico Manor is on the corner of Calhoun and Bolivar Street. And the property here, this is Jefferson Street. It's 510 Jefferson, so basically, they would be.
Right. I thought they were closer than that, but
Mexico Manor is located next to, they're on the corner of Bolivar and Calhoun. They are that far from it, because this property actually faces Jefferson Street.
Wouldn't it be right there where Beatty's subdivisions are? Jefferson.
I thought it was here.
I'm sorry, that's the right one.
Oh.
Property spaces right here.
Okay.
This is the wrong thing.
No. Arnold is here. property.
And Mexico Manor is located on the corner of Southland and Bolivar Street, which is right here. Where it shows right here.
So this is at where it says R26 or whatever that is.
16, that's a C2 area, I believe.
It's
That
just-
area is already zoned Williams.
Ballard and Company.
okay.
So his wouldn't change him a bit over there.
No,
He's already rezoned.
Right, he's already surrounded by the, the facility that, really, get that on this, Jefferson, this is where this property is, Mexico Manor is on the corner of Bolivar, Southland Administration.
Oh, okay.
Now, they are to the back of the, east.
So they're roughly a block and a half
Yeah,
away.
they vary, but it's not close, the property faces Jefferson, they're on the corner of Bolivar and Southland. Would be the, northwest corner of Bolivar and Southland.
You can take this back. Thank you.
it's half a block long, though, right? Or more.
That's a block. I think it takes that long. I used to visit with them.
I had to look up our calls.
Pick up everything.
Haven't done for 10 years.
Public hearing, are there any other public comments? Councilman, any other comments? Thank you, Rita. I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Yes.
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 Under resolutions this evening, we have Bill number 2014-14, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a hangar lease with James P. Brewer and Company. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor, we had a hangar come available, and he is the next one on the list. And to cover the details, I will turn to Russell Lynch.
Yes, as Bruce stated, we keep a list here and at the terminal building of individuals who are interested in hangars as they come available. This is hangar number 17. It rents for $90. We recommend that Mr. James Brewer, and under his name on the lease would be James P. Brewer and Company, that they take the hangar.
Okay. Any questions?
Make the motion, I read bill number 2014-14.
Second.
Yes.
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 I should have made that by title only. Bill number 2014-14, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a hangar lease with James P. Brewer and Company Incorporated. Whereas Mexico Memorial Airport currently has one hangar available for rent, and whereas a list of persons interested in renting airport hangars is maintained in the city manager's office, and the placement on the hangar list below allows Jim P. Brewer and Company Incorporated the opportunity to accept the hangar. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the city manager should be authorized to enter into a hangar lease on behalf of the City of Mexico for James P. Brewer and Company Incorporated. A copy of the hangar lease is attached and marked as Exhibit A. Section 2 of this resolution should be in full force and effect from and after the time of passage. I move for passage of bill number 2014-14.
Second.
Yes.
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 Next, we have Bill number 2014-15, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a contract with Brake Brothers for the operation of the brush and compost yard. This is up for reading and passage. I believe this, Bruce, is the fourth meeting we've talked about this.
I was going to say, I think we've talked about 3 meetings of this, but I will cover just briefly a few of the details again, for those that haven't seen it before, is that 3 years ago we did enter into a contract with Brake Brothers to do the city's brush and compost. That contract came up for renewal. We did open it up. We had trouble finding a response that was suitable to meet the budget. Therefore, we entered into negotiations with Brake Brothers. We believe we have arrived at a suitable operations contract. This contract would be for a one-year period to start May 1 through April 30. The hours would be Monday, Friday, Saturday from 10 to 5:30, March through November, and Saturdays 9 to 2, December through February. The price is $40,000. All other terms remain the same, including the 1 cubic yard of mulch that you would receive free as a resident by proof of showing your recent sanitation bill. All other terms and conditions would remain the same. Kenzie, anything that you would like to add to that?
We'll read bill number 2014-15.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Bill number 2014-15, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a contract with Brake Brothers for the operation of the brush and compost yard. Whereas it was determined that the bid of Brake Brothers was an acceptable bid, and whereas the terms of the contract adjust the annual cost and reduce the hours of operation during the summer, but otherwise remain the same as they have been. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the city manager is hereby authorized to execute, on behalf of the City of Mexico, contract documents with Brake Brothers, 8378 Interstate 70 Drive Southeast, Columbia, Missouri 65201, for various maintenance services. Section 2, the resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. I move for passage of bill number 2014-15.
Second.
Yes.
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 Next, we have bill number 2014-16, a resolution adopting residential refuge rates covering anticipated cost of sanitation services beginning April 1, 2014. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor, this is an annual resolution to adjust the residential refuse rates. This does include the contract that we have for pickup, the brush yard, household hazardous waste, and to cover the details, I will turn to Roger Haynes.
As already mentioned, each year the city staff provides to council projected costs associated with operating the sanitation fund for the upcoming 12-month cycle, which begins on April 1. And staff also recommends a monthly residential refuse fee in order to offset those estimated annual costs. Staff has provided to council this evening a sanitation fund expenditure summary totaling $551,546 for the 12-month period beginning April 1, 2014 and ending March 31st, 2015. To meet the fund's anticipated annual expenditures and maintain a fund balance compliant with our fund balance policy, staff is proposing a monthly service fee adjustment of 1.2%, or 13 cents per month as compared to our current rates. Therefore, staff recommends that council approve the attached resolution setting a monthly residential refuse service base rate of $10.83 with a fuel cost adjusted rate cap of $11.53 for the 12-month period beginning April 1, 2014 through March 31st, 2015. In addition to this recommendation, staff did do a survey of 15 area communities to see how our price would compare to others. As you can see from that survey, council, on the base rate, we're approximately $2.94 less per month than those surveyed on the average. And based on a fuel-adjusted rate cap max, $2.24 less per month than those surveyed. I'd be glad to field any questions.
Just for clarification, Roger, could you just briefly cover what the fuel adjustment cap is?
Certainly can. Right now, the agreement is written at a base rate as though diesel fuel costs were at $2.25 a gallon. For every nickel that diesel fuel costs are above that $2.25, the rate can be adjusted by 1 penny. Currently, over the base rate that we would have this evening, the fuel adjustment rate would be 33 cents. So if we were to bill based on this base rate this evening and the current cost of diesel fuel over and above the $2.25 per gallon, the customer would be charged $11.16, which is still well below the average rate of $13.77 as compared to the 15 other communities surveyed. Now, there is a cap on this. What that means is that even if fuel continued to escalate at a rapid rate, in order to reach the fuel cap of $11.53 per month, diesel would have to hit $5.70 per gallon. So it's the protection that's in the contract for both the city, the residents, and also for Dane, so that we can stay in business and not pick up trash at a loss.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
He does provide a very excellent service. I still to date haven't heard a complaint about him at all, so.
I appreciate that. He is very responsive to any requests that the city has on the behalf of our residents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion, I read bill number 2014-16.
Second.
Yes.
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 Bill number 2014-16, a resolution adopting residential refuge rates covering sanitation services beginning April 1st, 2014. Whereas the City of Mexico contracted with Danes Waste Disposal Incorporated to provide residential sanitary services, and whereas the contract includes annual pricing adjustments that are set to take place April 1st of each year, and whereas in addition to the sanitation services contract, other operation expenses related to sanitation services provided by the city must be properly funded through user fee. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the base rate for sanitation service will be $10.68 per month, plus 15 cents for the landfill post-closure fund, equal to a fee of $10.83 per household. Section 2, the City Council set the monthly base rate for sanitation services in the amount of $10.83 with a fuel cost adjustment cap rate of $11.53 for the 12-month period beginning April 1st, 2014 through March 31st, 2015. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from after time of passage. I move for passage of bill number 2014-16.
Second.
Yes.
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 Next, we have bill number 2014-17, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for various maintenance services with Randy May Construction. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor, we have for some time had a contract with a local company in order to provide us services on an hourly basis for equipment and labor costs when we need extra assistance or assistance to do certain projects. And we bid that contract, and to cover the details of the bid and the results, I will turn to Kenzie Russell.
Randy May Construction was the low bidder this year. Mr. May has been providing these services for the last few years. There's been last two contract and then previous contract prior to that. He has performed satisfactorily. He does respond well. We use these services primarily for sewer repair, and it's on an hourly basis. City purchases materials that are necessary and then pays the equipment and labor cost as incurred by Mr. May. Part of the reason for it being hourly is that we don't know what a particular repair may cost, or in the case of snow removal, whether we'll need a truck or assistance for 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever it might be. And so by having an hourly rate that's fixed up front, we can keep track of those hours and pay accordingly. We would recommend that we proceed with another contract with Mr. May. We do spend roughly around $70,000 a year on sewer repairs with Mr. May. The city does do some repairs themselves as well, and as you know, we have some major contracts that are bid out independently of this.
Clarification, we sent it to 11 vendors and we got 3 in return, 3 bids in return.
We directly submitted it to 11. It was advertised, of course, in the Ledger. We also maintain a contractor list here in the engineer's office, and we send out a blast email with the advertisement. And that list is probably got 25, 30 contractors on it. But some,
There were a
not
number.
all, but not all of them are plumbers. So
There were a number and we did receive 3.
yes, yes.
Your Honor, if there are no questions or further comments, I move for reading of bill number 2014-17.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Bill number 2014-17, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for various maintenance services with Randy May Construction. Whereas bids made pursuant to the invitation to bid for the various maintenance services were opened on March 14, 2014, and whereas it was determined that the bid of Randy May Construction was an acceptable bid, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1. The city manager is hereby authorized to execute, on behalf of the City of Mexico, contract documents with Randy May Construction, 6318 Audrain Road, 337, Mexico, Missouri, for various maintenance services. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. I move for passage of bill number 2014-17.
Yes.
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 Next, we have a resolution, bill number 2014-18, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute agreements with various organizations to receive tourism funding from the Mexico tourism tax. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor, the Mexico Tourism Commission has met and reviewed these applications and would make these recommendations. And to cover the list of recommendations for funding this evening, I will turn to Roger Haynes.
The Tourism Commission met this past Wednesday, March 19th, and reviewed 3 applications for upcoming summer events so that they could be reimbursed for advertising expenditures. The first organization was Brick City Bad Boys for the 2014 cruise nights, which is 5 nights, the 3rd Saturday of the months of May, June, July, August, and September. They requested $3,100. The Tourism Commission recommended $3,100. The Knights of Columbus, and this is a new request, requested funds to support advertising for a Mid-Missouri Beer Festival, which would be held on June 7th and on the afternoon of June 7th out at the Knights of Columbus facility. They requested $4,950. The amount recommended was $700. And third, the Mexico Young Farmers requested funds for the 2014 tractor pull, again for advertising. The amount requested was $6,421, and the amount recommended was $4,000. So the total amount recommended was $7,800, and I think I want to go ahead and share with council the information that the commission had at the time of their meeting. We already knew that we had 5 events that we've already set money aside for this budget year for advertising support. We knew that we had these 3 requests this evening, and we also knew that Walk Back in Time, the request was forthcoming, and also the JC's Soybean Festival is forthcoming. And actually, both of those requests were received today. The $7,800 that they allocated was all of the dollars that are left for this fiscal year to allocate, given if they were to fund the other 2 events, the Soybean Festival and Walk Back in Time, at the same levels that they did last year. So I just wanted to let you know, they went right to the cap of what they have available in the 2013-2014 budget. That spent the $42,000 of regular budgeted expenditure and $5,000 for project reserve. The good thing is, they'll be funding 10 events. Bad thing is, they spent all the money. But I guess in turn, that can be good that we have that kind of use in the community to ask for funds for these special events. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
We don't have to have reserves in anyway, do we? Or they don't have to have reserves anyway,
As far as,
from year to year.
right,
Yeah, I
it's
thought
first,
the-
it's
I thought the
first
goal
come,
was to
first,
spend all the money.
right, it's first come, first served. Next year, I'm very confident, and Bruce and I had this discussion late last week, that we will have more funds available for the Tourism Commission to utilize based on our collections in fiscal year 2013. So we're hoping that we'll be able to bump up the funds available by about $5,000, which will help some of these that we've had to cut back on.
Well, these will do good and they bump up more than that, so.
Right, absolutely. So staff does recommend that council concur with the Mexico Tourism Commission's recommendation and proceed with reading and passage of the attached resolution.
I was interested in this Brick City Bad Boys, and it shows that their biggest show last year was 86 cars, trucks, and 32 bikes. But it doesn't say anywhere approximately how many people were involved.
I do know that at least one member of the commission and another person that was attending the meeting made the comment that the downtown area was very busy during those events. And of course, the Brick City Bad Boys is looking at scheduling their nights, I think the third Saturday rather than the fourth. That way it wouldn't conflict with other local car shows, hoping to possibly double their attendance.
Any question? I make a motion, I read bill number 2014-18.
Second. Yes.
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 Bill number 2014-18, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute agreements with various organizations for requested funding from the Mexico Tourism Tax. Whereas the Mexico Tourism Commission recommends to the City Council that the Brick City Bad Boys, the Knights of Columbus, and the Mexico Young Farmers be allowed to receive tourism funding for their tourism advertising campaign. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that the city manager be authorized to enter into an agreement on behalf of the City of Mexico with the Brick City Bad Boys, the Knights of Columbus, and the Mexico Young Farmers for tourism funding. Section 2, excuse me. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from after its time of passage. I move for passage of bill number 2014-18.
Second.
Yes.
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 Next resolution is bill number 2014-19, a resolution accepting a quitclaim deed from the Optimus Club of Mexico, Missouri for property located adjacent to Highway J. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. We had to do a boundary survey as part of the land and water conservation property that which is owned by the city. And as a part of that, a parcel was discovered that really was undeeded. And so we have to clear up title. To cover the details of this and what we had to do, I will turn to Chad Shoemaker.
I would wish you a good evening, but I'm under a gag order from Rita not to do so. If you'll remember back when we went out for contract with Schaefer, Klein and Warren for this Land and Water Conservation Fund property, it was because of a failure in the 1980s to post these properties when the city received the okay to use part of Fairgrounds Park for the YMCA project. This property and the other property over in Plugger Park were part of that agreement with the state to allow us to go ahead and do that at that time. So, in essence, what you see here is, this is where the LWCF property is, that runs on through here. As the survey team worked, they discovered that there is this green shaded zone. Here's the wastewater plant. Here's Highway J, Optimus Field Road here. That at the time the highway was constructed, this land was not properly described in the highway right-of-way land description. In the meantime, the land across the road was sold from the farm that it was part of to the Optimus Club, or the people that eventually sold to the Optimus Club. At that time, this land was described as highway boundary. So this land was left undeeded. We cannot legally end a survey against an undeeded piece of property. Since this, and this is the only section that really the LWCF property involved with, but the rest of this runs city property on the side of the highway. So if we ever wanted to do any additional survey of that property for any Kennedy moves, we would end up having to go back to the same problem. That said, the Optimus Club does not have a perfect claim to this property. Really, nobody does. It's the best claim we could find. When we talked to the title company, they let us know that this was not a perfect claim that we're accepting, but nobody has a better claim. It has to be deeded to somebody at some point, or we can't record the survey. So, hence, since we were already paid for the survey to be done, we went out and we worked with the Optimus. They've been very gracious. They've worked through all the details with us, and we have a deed in front of you tonight that we would like to accept so that we can get this survey project concluded. So, essentially, you're going to be the proud owners of the ditch.
State right.
Within the state right away. Yes.
So the state actually maintains it.
Yes.
We're not-
It won't change the status quo of how this property is dealt with whatsoever. We're simply jumping through a legal technicality.
How many miles wide is that strip?
How many? What did we decide? 0.0047 miles wide? No, just joking, Steve. It's feet. You're talking about strip. At most points, it's feet wide. Yeah. You're not even talking yards.
Okay. Make a motion, thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion, Greg, read bill number 2014-19.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Bill number 2014-19, a resolution authorizing accepting a quitclaim deed from the Optimus Club of Mexico, Missouri, for property located adjacent to Highway J. Whereas the City of Mexico would like to acquire property to complete a property survey for land and water conservation fund property. The property is adjacent to the Northeast Park. And whereas the Optimus Club of Mexico, Missouri desires to quitclaim the parcel to the City of Mexico, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the City Council accepts the quitclaim deed from the Optimus Club of Mexico, Missouri for property located adjacent to Highway J. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after the time of its passage. Move for passage of bill number 2014-19.
Second. Yes.
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 Next, we have resolution, bill number 2014-20, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign the task order with Schaefer, Klein, and Warren Incorporated for lift station improvements. This is up for reading and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. We've had some problems with the lift station, and we budgeted to do some improvements. And to cover the details of this resolution, to hire the engineering company to begin that look at the project, I will turn to Kenzie Rupp.
Schaefer, Klein, and Warren, of course, is our on-call engineer, and so we approached them about helping us with this problem. A couple of years ago, we identified the Route D lift station, which is the one by Dawn Foods, as a problem. We were having problems with the control panel. It's mounted on top of the wet well, and there's a direct conduit then from the gases of the wet well up into the control panel, and it's been corroding contacts, and we've had to replace relays and various switches and all through the years because of that corrosion. But we also have been experiencing problems with pump burnout and that sort of thing. We actually replaced the pumps in that station, and we thought that had to be due to some other factor. As we looked at that, we discovered and actually did some measurements and all on pressures and flows that when the Walmart lift station shares the same force main, the same pipe that this one does, and that when the Walmart lift station is pumping, the Route D lift station has to pump against that flow as well, and we were only getting about 25 psi of pressure in the force main, which was essentially causing back pressure, if you will, on the pumps. The same thing happens at Walmart when the Route D station is pumping, but it's not as severe a problem simply because the head at Walmart is a little lower that it has to pump against. We looked at alternatives. There's a high-tech alternative of using radios or cell phone technology to make the two pump stations talk to each other so that when one says I'm pumping, the other one says I'll wait, or vice versa. We also looked at this solution, and the costs actually are similar. The interlock, the radio or cell phone interlock would be a little bit more expensive. It would have had the advantage of being able to send a signal to the plant, but it also, of course, includes a higher maintenance with more technology, more stuff in the control panel. And so instead, we chose the solution of just putting the Walmart station on its own force main, separating the two so that they don't pump against each other. And we already have the easement necessary. We can put the force main next to the existing one. And this looks like it is really going to be, from a maintenance standpoint, the simplest. We will rebuild the control panel for the Route D station. We'll set it off to one side, as is common now in new construction, rather than on the wet well, so it shouldn't be subject to corrosion for many years anyway. And we will put a dialer, a telephone dialer, in that panel so it will call the plant if something goes wrong at the station. We have that in some of our other lift stations currently, and that does give us an alert more so than just the red light and the horn physically at the station. So we're recommending that we proceed with that solution to the problem, and that our on-call engineer, Schaefer, Klein, and Warren, be engaged to provide the plans and specifications for it. The city engineer's office then will do the advertising, bidding, manage the construction contract from there out, with support from SKW as needed if there are changes that would crop up during construction. The contract, the proposed task order cost from Schaefer, Klein, and Warren is $16,000 and some odd dollars. I didn't put it in my letter.
$965.
$965, thank you, Greg. Which we actually negotiated down from a little over $20,000 with them, and negotiated it down to call it 17 here. So just to let you know, we don't always take the first offer across the table, even if it's from our on-call engineer that's there.
And this is something our engineer can do.
We could do the force main portion of it. The control panel portion is more of an electrical engineering kind of thing that they have the expertise for. They'll actually survey the route for the force main, and it's a little over 3,000 feet long, as well as do the control panel design and specs.
Now getting back to the corrosion of the control panels on the Route D, you say the wet well vented into the control panel?
The original construction, and this was put in, I think, in the late 90s or about 2000 perhaps, was when this lift station was built. Originally, Bunge Foods there was on a lagoon system. And then through, I believe it was an EDA grant, perhaps the city built the lift station, made the connection to the city sewer for them. The construction as it is done has the control panel mounted on top of the wet well, and of course the controls go down to the submersible pumps and to the level controllers. So there's a conduit that goes through the top of the wet well, and that has a seal on it that's essentially elastomeric or silicone type seal. That has failed over the years. It's been plugged up with what you can buy off the shelf, but that hasn't been totally satisfactory. And the gases just migrate straight up from that. The construction now is to set that control panel off to one side on posts. Of course, there still is a conduit run that goes over to it, but the wet well is vented as well, and so the gases tend to go out the vent instead of follow the horizontal run of the conduit, and that's the preferred construction or design and construction method that's used today.
And it was built by engineering design.
I'm sure it was, and it wasn't uncommon at the time to have done it that way. And if you're tight on space, it still would be done today if you didn't have enough space to set it on at one time.
Will this improve our ability to serve new loads in the area?
It could, to the extent that we can put those loads into the lift station. It will certainly save us on maintenance costs and pump replacement. In 14 years, we shouldn't have had to replace pumps. So it will save us those maintenance costs. By having the Walmart station and the Route D station separate, it would increase load capacity at each of those stations.
Hopefully there'll be some new growth out there.
I'm sure that Russell has something going on in his hip pocket right away here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to read bill number 2014-20.
Second.
Yes.
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 Bill number 2014-20, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a task order with Schaefer, Klein & Warren Incorporated for lift station improvements. Whereas the Route D, there we go. Whereas the Route D sewer lift station and the Walmart lift station share a common force main, thereby experiencing pumping conflicts. Excuse me. Whereas the conflict can be eliminated with the design and construction of an additional force main, and whereas it is determined that the task order from Schaefer, Klein & Warren in the amount of $16,965 for doing the design is an acceptable amount. Now therefore be it resolved by this council of the city of Mexico, Missouri as follows. Section 1. City manager is hereby authorized to execute on behalf of the City of Mexico contract documents with Schaefer, Klein, and Warren for lift station improvements. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from at the time of passage. Move to pass the bill number 2014-20.
Second.
Yes.
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 We have one ordinance this evening, Bill number 2014-21, an ordinance rezoning properties located at 510 South Jefferson and amending the district map referred to in Section 15-142 of the Code of the City of Mexico, Missouri, zoning to I-1 light industrial. 2 readings by title only and passage. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor. This ordinance does cover the request of Mid-America Biofuels on the 2 parcels of property that we discussed earlier this evening, from a C2 general commercial to an I1 light industrial. And we would recommend council proceed with the 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance. And if you have any additional questions, we'll try to answer them at this time.
I have one. I should have asked this earlier. This, Mr. Schmidt, the president of Mexico Manor, did he show up at the planning and zoning meeting? He did not. And obviously he knew about tonight and didn't show up tonight either. Well, I didn't see him here anyway. Okay. Thank you.
If there's no questions, Your Honor, I move for first reading of bill number 2014-21 by title only.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Bill number 2014-21, an ordinance rezoning properties located at 510 South Jefferson and amending the district map referred to in section 15-142 of the Code of the City of Mexico, Missouri zoning to I-1 light industrial. I move for second reading of the ordinance by title only.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Bill number 2014-21, an ordinance rezoning properties located at 510 South Jefferson and amending the district map referred to in section 15-142 of the Code of the City of Mexico, Missouri zoning to I-1 light industrial. And I would move for passage of bill number 2014-21.
Second.
Yes.
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 Under other business this evening, we have the claims. I move we pay the bills.
Second.
Yes.
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 Next, we have comments, council comments. Councilman Nichols.
I'm tired of talking. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Miller.
Equally the same. I'd like to thank Rita and Lou for giving us the presentations tonight. I think it really helped foster some understanding. Secondly, Your Honor, I would like to commend the Audrain Humane Society for the generous contributions in money, time, and effort there at the animal shelter. We know, but we sometimes fail to remember how much they do. And it's a great organization, and they do a lot for the animal shelter and for the animals. So I commend them. Thank you.
Totally agree with your comment.
I have just a couple things, Your Honor. Boulevard Street, railroad tracks being removed out towards the west end by Miller Warehouse. Miller Warehouse, Dudley Miller did own those tracks. We got a deal with him. He agreed to have those, and they've been rough. People have had some issues with them, and so we're moving forward with getting that done. And they started that project, and I think we should be done, weather allowing, and have that back open by late this week.
Does the city get the scrap for that?
Technically, the rails belong to Mr. Miller. If he wants them, we'll lay them up on his property. If he doesn't, we'll sell them for scrap.
Yeah, they're worth something.
And additionally, also Commerce Road, which was the additional paving project along in front of the agribusiness park, which was the extension for the additional grant money. That has been graded, and later this week they intend to get the paving done on that. So early project this year. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
One other question, if I may.
Sure.
I'd like to ask Kenzie, what condition is Platt Street in? It used-
Platt
Platt Street,
Street.
yeah. We just had apparently a new building, a new home out there, built out there. Is it in pretty good shape?
I haven't been out there for a while. We've got it on our inventory and rated. It's
Yeah.
just an asphalt street. It's fairly narrow. It was not in terribly bad or terribly good condition last time I happened to be that direction. That's not one I travel very often.
Yeah, nor do I, and I haven't been out there for years, and I just kind of wondered what condition it was in. Could we look into that and make sure it's okay?
Sure. It's a simple matter of checking our street inventory, and I can email it to you and let you know.
I sure appreciate it, thank you.
Okay. Public comments. Any public comments? Seeing none, hearing none, I move we adjourn.
Second?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.